Hey guys, what's up? It is Laura Ventura with Pawz and All, and today I'm going to show you guys how I go about grooming Miss Chloe here. She is a Bernedoodle. That means that she is a Bernese Mountain Dog, as you could see with her colors and the pattern, and she also has a poodle, making her a Bernedoodle. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how I bathe her, how I prep her, and how I do her haircut. She's a very pretty girl. And as you can see, one of my favorite features on her is her beautiful, luscious eyelashes. All right, guys, let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do with Miss Chloe is bathe her. Now I'm going to make sure that I am going to dilute my shampoo very well in a shampoo bottle. And I'm going to be using warm to hot water because I want to be sure that that fur is going to end up nice and clean, because I want a really crisp haircut. And for a crisp haircut, you do need very clean fur or hair. So one of the areas that I concentrate most while giving a dog a bath is the hocks and inside of the paws, because you cannot imagine how much buildup you could find inside of a dog's paws. And also when a dog sits down, their hock is directly on the ground. So you just want to make sure you're getting that very thoroughly. I forgot to show you guys what shampoo I'm using, so I will list it below. It's Omela by Double K. I really like this shampoo. It has a very nice scent to it. It's not too strong, and it's pretty gentle on the skin. It works great for every coat type, and on top of that, it cleans pretty thoroughly. For her blueberry facial, I'm gonna go with Tropiclean, and I'll list that shampoo below. To be honest, I really like the consistency and how much it lathers up, but I'm not too crazy about the scent of the shampoo. I mean, I know that everybody's scent palette is different, but that's just my personal opinion. But again, it cleans thoroughly, so hey, I will go ahead and keep it. This is everybody's favorite part, and that's the face massage part. Now, that's why I named my business Pawz and All Mobile Grooming and Massage, because I do feel that giving dogs or even cats a nice facial massage really allows them to relax, and it's going to make the grooming process so much smoother for both parties. Because Miss Chloe has a slightly long beard, I'm going to make sure that I'm really getting in there with the shampoo, because there are times where I find just a buildup of food and water stuck to dogs' beards, and if I could avoid like blow drying them and then finding that afterwards, I do. I just try to make sure that I take all the yucky stuff out in the bath. Now that I've scrubbed her down all the way, I'm going to go ahead and rinse her thoroughly. You don't want any buildup of shampoo or conditioner or product at all. You want to make sure that that water comes out clean before you go ahead and put the dog on your table. And guys, I'm about to drop a really important message right now. The Pawz and All way of bathing, they don't get a bath like this anywhere else. I'm sorry. Like, she just got the bath of her lifetime right now. Like, it's squeaky. That's how you know that fur is clean, when it's squeaky. And if you're going to, like, cut corners in the bath time, I don't know what to tell you. The final product is not gonna look good. And it's so satisfying, too. So, really, don't be scared to dig in deep there, guys. They could take a lot more. Like, I don't like when people are like so gentle. No, like, it's fur. Like, she has thick fur. You gotta really get in there. Sorry, I just had to, you know, say what was on my mind. And you know what's funny? I think, like, curly haired groomers, they get it. Like, if you're like of like some type of ethnicity that you have, like either like difficult hair, curly hair, you really have to, like, you understand wash day. You understand all that it entails. And guys, as always, I'm going to go ahead and do a leave-in conditioner for her. Look how long her eyelashes are. Like, these are all, look at her beautiful eyelashes, guys. She's gorgeous. This girl is gorgeous. Aw, you're a pretty girl, mama. Alright guys, so we just did the bath, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a good brush out on her before I dry her. This part is really important because you want to make sure all her fur is brushed out and tangle free, and I wouldn't do this without putting leave-in conditioner first. So with her, because she has a couple of tangles, she's really not that bad, but because she has a couple of tangles, I use Smith & Burton leave-in conditioner. I'll show you guys how the bottle looks like. And this is a detangling spray, so I would never brush out a dog without using a leave-in or a detangling spray. This one is a little bit more thicker than what I'm used to, but I love it because she has thick hair, so her hair could hold it. So I'm lightly going ahead and going with the hair, and wherever I feel like I need to tug a little bit more, I'll just work that area. Okay, and this, if you do it gentle enough, these bristles, what I like about this brush, it really doesn't hurt. So you're just gonna wanna brush them out all the way. And while I'm brushing out, I'm trying to get rid of as much water as I possibly could. I'll go ahead later and use the rag to collect that water. And then what I also do, because I'm in Florida, I open up my vent and I put it on, just so the water could start evaporating. Because then what's gonna happen is that water is gonna be flying everywhere to her other side of the body, and you just want the van to not stay humid. Now there's some little mats that I'm not gonna be able to get with this brush, and that's fine because the dryer is actually gonna help me separate it. And then I'll go back with my Les Pooch, the matte zapper, and I'll show you guys what brush that is. That is a magical brush if you know how to use it. I will teach you how to use it. And if you haven't purchased it yet, you're missing out. All right, and when I'm doing a dog with thicker hair like this, again, the more water you could extract now, the easier your drying time is gonna be. And I have a towel designated just for the table. Okay, so this towel, I don't use it on their bodies, but I do use it to collect anything that is on the table. All right, guys, let's start drying. But before I start drying, before I start drying, I'm gonna put on my handy dandy earmuffs because I don't want to go deaf anytime soon. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put cotton balls in her ears. Some dogs like it, some dogs don't mind it, and some dogs hate cotton balls in their ears, but I think she'll be fine. Good girl. We're gonna use this hose head for her, and she should be dried within 30 minutes, okay? right, Chloe is all bathed and brushed out and dried, and this process took me 45 minutes. It shouldn't take you more than, I would say, 50 minutes. An hour is kind of pushing it, so I'm gonna use this last 15 minutes of that hour to go ahead and prep her. Now, we already did her ears and her teeth. I'm gonna go ahead and do her sanitary and her nails, okay? And I wanna show you guys how I go about doing her nails. Guys, I'm gonna start off by doing her sanitary and also her paws, and then I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the actual haircut. If you wanna go ahead and learn how to do a sanitary on a female dog, I do have a video on that, so go ahead and search it in my channel because I show you step by step on a very safe way to do it. For Miss Chloe, I'm gonna go ahead and do an A-comb, and that is gonna be placed on top of a 40 blade on a wall Bavera, and the blade is called a 5-in-1. And guys, I'm gonna list all the equipment I used on her below. And I'm gonna go ahead and start just going at her body. I'm also going to do her legs with this, but I'm going to skim them. I'm not gonna go all the way tightly down the legs because I wanna make sure that the legs are not too skinny and that I'll still have some hair to shape and scissor. Guys, this is why the bath process is so important, because if she was not bathed or brushed or dried properly, this comb attachment would not go through with the ease that it's going through her fur. She does have thick fur and it's pretty kind of curly and wavy because she is mixed with a doodle. So anything doodle, you do have to make sure that your prep work is 110% because that is the only way you're gonna get a nice crisp cut. And also it's going to make the process faster because you're not gonna have to be stopping and cleaning out your comb or your blade so much. When doing a clip comb, the best course of action is going with the direction of the fur or the hair to make sure that it's not leaving any little lines. Now, if it does leave any lines, a good trick is to comb out that spot and go ahead and just even it out with some thinning shears or with scissors. Skimming a dog's legs will forever be one of my favorite techniques because it allows me to hack off most of the hair that I don't want. It also allows me to like pre-shape that leg. So when it comes to the scissor time, it's not gonna be too long. It's not gonna be so much work because half of the work is already done with my comb attachment. I'm going to be scissoring her legs and her face with Zolitta shears, and I'm going to link those below. I don't know if she has them in stock, but these scissors, they cut so nicely and they're so lightweight. I really fell in love with these shears. I don't know if you guys remember the mat that I pointed out while I was drying Miss Chloe, but I found a mat in between the paws. Again, you'll be very amazed what I find in between paws and even underneath them. So I'm gonna go ahead and scissor that out. I will never like tug at it so hard to the point where I take it out because that really hurts. So I just comb it out to see exactly where it's at and to figure out where the root is of the mat. A dog is always going to look the best with longer legs compared to the body, so you never want like a bigger body and then really skinny legs, because that'll just look funny and there will be no balance to the haircut. So that's why I like to keep most of my doodles' legs a little longer, but not too long, so the next time I see them they'll be all matted. So I kind of gauge, like I groom Chloe every 6 weeks, so I have to think to myself, okay, in 6 weeks what's going to be her condition. Now this is also taking account that her mom does help me out and she does brush her as best as she could. She always comes in with a little tiny bit of matting, which is not too bad because again, the leave-in conditioner helps me with that, and plus all the brushes that I own that really put in the work. Miss Chloe was tap dancing on my table and I needed her to stay still for this part. So what I did was I grabbed her other leg so she could just balance on that leg and stay still, and it works. So this is a technique you could use if a dog is moving around too much while you are scissoring a leg. The front of her legs are so satisfying to scissor because she has so much hair to work with. Guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but I hold my scissors all types of ways. So don't go by the way that I hold my shears. I know that I hold them very funky. I've been doing this for about 13 to 14 years and I don't have like strength in my ring finger, and that's why I use my middle finger, and then like my index finger does what it wants, and that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I want to be like Bob Ross. You know who Bob Ross is?
Yeah, the painter.
Like happy little legs. Bob Ross have glasses. I feel like it.
I don't remember.
You're like, that wasn't really from my era. I was still a baby.
It wasn't, but it's like a lot of people do it, so that's how I know about it. Like a lot of people follow his like videos.
Remember when I told you guys I'm going to show you guys how I use the Les Pooch brush? Well, here it is. This is a mat zapper, and pretty much if you have a mat, go ahead and use the very corner of that brush and it'll rip it right apart. And it kind of works like a dematter, to be honest with you. It's as tough as a dematter, but a lot safer because it's bristles and not knives. When I'm grooming Miss Chloe's legs, I'm concentrated on making a very straight line on the left side of the leg, the right side of the leg, and the back of the leg. Then, like I showed you guys, I'm going to brush out the front of the leg and I'm going to shape that nice and round and connect it to the left and to the right side of her leg so it all looks put together. All right, I'm gonna move on to her tail, but first I'm gonna comb it out completely to make sure there's no mats, and I found some mats underneath her tail. I'm not going to demat that area because it's pretty sensitive, so I'm just gonna scissor it out and pass my Les Pouce brush and my comb to make sure that there are no mats before I go ahead and flag her very pretty tail. I'm gonna go ahead and soften those lines and just do my finishing work with Chris Christensen chunkers, and I'll list those in the description box below. I've had these chunkers for about, I would say 5 to 6 years now, and I'll definitely buy them again because they're very heavy duty and they go through doodle hair like butter, and also they blend so nicely. Alright guys, on to the face. Now her mom does like the top of her head pretty short and her muzzle pretty short. So I'm going to go ahead and take that same A comb with the 40 blade at the bottom of it. And I'm going to go ahead and just pass it down the side of her face, her muzzle, and then on top of her head. Now, if she didn't want it so short, I would probably go ahead and do it with a C or an E comb, and then I would just go ahead and like maybe hand scissor the top of her head instead of passing a comb. But if you want your dog to have a shorter head and face and you don't want to scissor the whole thing, go ahead and grab the clip comb. Now with her, I have to make sure that I do not take off those beautiful eyelashes because literally that's her trademark. So I will make sure of that by going ahead and separating her eyelashes with my shears as I'm doing right now, and also holding down her eyelashes while I'm doing the clip comb down her muzzle. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take my guide thinning shears and I'm going to start blending her muzzle and also the sides of her head, and just taking off the sharp edges. So as you could tell, I take off the length that I want first and I shape with the shears, and then with the thinning shears I blend, soften up, and just do my finishing work. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and shape her ears. Now I'm using the same shears that I used for her legs, the Zolitta shears that I'll go ahead and link below, and I'm going to go ahead and make them like into a straight line, but I'm going to round out the edges. Alright guys, we're all done with Miss Chloe. Kiara picked this cute little bandana for her, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on. We already sprayed her with a little bit of perfume, and we put our silky silk on her so she's extra soft and clean, and she's ready to jump off the table, so I'm going to tell her no. I'm going to tell her to wait. Good girl. And then we're just gonna put this bandana on her. Alright guys, that is all. I'm also going to show you guys some clips from her walking outside so you guys can see the full haircut out there with natural lighting instead of in a van. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for commenting, for the subscribers, for the love. I love what I do and I love sharing with you guys. Up and out, love and light. Laura Ventura.